Welcome to Truth with Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Episode number 148 coming at you. Super Bowl review, also known as the Sus review. We're still going to talk about the NBA trade deadline and then a couple of NFL offseason topics.
Good show.
Isaac's laughing.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Off the top, we do need to talk about the Detroit Tigers. Flaherty's a big signing.
Tigers are back.
They're back. Save us, Detroit Tigers.
It just took one little Tigers kind of highlight montage, bring us back. I'm like, oh yeah, we got baseball coming back in April.
So back. Meat sticks, apples, cheering on the big screen.
Looking
Terry
forward to it.
Scooby back-to-back Cy Young.
Yeah, Tigers are good.
I do need to raise the sensitive question.
No, just no
We're not going
negative
to talk
Tigers.
about Alex Bregman?
No.
I'm not
boys.
sure where
Stop.
he's going to be hit in the order.
Next topic.
Okay, Red Wings, firmly in the playoff picture. So the two dudes that they had before Lalonde and the other guy, they had 0 7-game win streaks in 6 years. Todd McClellan has had 2 7-game win streaks since he took over. He's a magician.
Wings are back.
Back.
We don't know anything about hockey, so let's not act like we do.
Yep. Thanks. The emergency pod, I just need to talk about that for a minute.
Sure.
That was good work on both our parts. 10 minutes from my car. He dropped me off at the airport. We'll do those every now and then when something big happens.
So we can even talk about the context behind it, because I'll let you. I'm sure you want to.
No, you go ahead.
No, you can.
So I think we talked about it, but if you haven't listened to the emergency pod, which is episode number 147, you should, because it's only 10 minutes and it was good. Maybe our second most watched pod ever after Luke Wilson.
Might be the most, but it depends on just go ahead. Just keep going.
Okay. So he had texted me. I had fallen asleep, like I tend to do that sometimes. But I went to sleep at 11, and the trade hadn't...
Okay, sorry. First of all, real quick, interject. You went to sleep at 11. You probably napped from 8 to 10, and then watched 40 minutes of basketball and just was on Twitter. That's probably what happened. I'm not even sure.
I didn't see the pod. I didn't see the trade. You texted me.
No, I'm saying, but you said you were making this big prideful statement about how you stayed until 11. I'm saying you probably napped
I'm
2 hours
saying,
before.
I don't know what time I fell asleep, but it was prior to the trade being announced.
The trade was announced till after midnight.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
for sure I was asleep.
So you can keep going with your story. Just try not to lie.
So he texted me. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, whatever, and read it. And my initial thought was, oh my gosh, he's talking about the Pistons, because there's some talk about trading for Brandon Ingram. My idiot friends in Toronto are maybe angry with that. Sorry, Urban. But it wasn't. It was the Luka. So then you go on Twitter, and in 1 second you realize, wow, it's perhaps the biggest trade in sports history.
Yeah, so I meant more. We're going to talk about the trade itself, but I want just more surrounding the context behind the emergency pod.
Yeah, so then we had to record because it's a big deal, and our fans want to hear our take on things.
Yep, and why couldn't we do it in a studio? I'm trying to
because he was driving me to the airport because I was going to conference.
So he was going to Florida for conference, and I was holding the fort down here, and we were like, we got to talk about this. I stayed up for hours, as I've said. I've told a lot of people this, kind of how the circumstance of events. What would it be called?
Yep.
Where I just kind of stayed up in my bed for multiple hours.
Reading about this ginormous trade.
Trying to read and put notes together and make sense of it. And I'm usually okay at making sense of things. This was not one of those things.
We'll talk about how stupid it is afterwards.
For sure.
But so then we went to the airport, and then we recorded from the car.
I think we can also say we dropped my grandparents' neighbors off at the airport as well. Lovely individuals.
Yeah, Carrie and...
Shout them out. Yeah.
Cynthia?
Yeah, shout them out.
So. They're awesome.
Great people.
They're so awesome.
And they kind of know ball, know ball enough to be like, so how about that trade, guys? And then that was great stuff.
So then we didn't tell them get out of the car because we have to record.
And that's what we did.
It was great.
We set the phone up and you had all these people looking at us. But if anyone heard, they'd been like, oh, they're talking about the Luka trade, totally warranted.
Yeah, they know ball.
Totally, they hit ball knowers in the car. So we talked about it, and then we kind of had a mad dash to post it and struggled with that, but we figured it out. Got captions and a title. We were pretty prideful.
It was good.
And it was actually
people loved it.
It was actually good conversation.
The funny thing was, I wasn't 100% certain if I was able to send the video to Isaac. So I get off the plane, and one of my buddies texted me and said, "Great emergency pod." Cool. So that was my indicator that I guess it worked.
That's aura too. That's an aura boost.
That was cool.
Emergency pod worked out good. We're going to talk more about the Luka trade. So I'll be honest. This is you've selected a poverty agenda for today's episode. You have.
No, it's
not
not
that you had a lot of options.
It's a light pod. It's post Super Bowl. people, we get to catch our breath a little bit. Our fans don't need to get stressed out about the pod. It's just a nice, relaxing experience.
Yeah, catch our
They
breath.
should sing Kumbaya after listening to this pod.
Whereas, like, the only thing that I really want to talk about here in depth is the Luka trade.
Luke, we have to talk about a couple more things off the top.
Okay, fine.
Michigan basketball.
They're
back.
Actually back.
Back. We need to bring Wiz on to be our NCAA expert prior to the tournament.
Michigan's going to be, they're looking at, like, for sure, kind of a 4 or 5 seed.
Yeah.
Is what the projection, what is it? The bracketology? I've already started looking at that.
I have not.
And they'll probably be there. And Michigan State was like a 3-2, but then they just lost. They had a really bad loss yesterday. So who knows? And they can't shoot, and Izzo's a fraud. Anyways, looking forward to college basketball. It's in the midst of saving us.
Okay, 2 more things. There's been a fair amount of movie watching, a little by me, but a lot by Daniela and Isaac. Your takes on 2 movies. Warriors, the original one from 1975. I've been telling you to talk for a while.
Not 75.
79?
I think 79.
Oh, okay.
Basically,
It's a great movie.
I don't know how it came up. Like, it came up in the conversation when we were in Florida, and we talked about watching, we just never did. And then it was on my list, and I checked it out. I'm like, I'm just gonna watch Warriors. So I watched Warriors one night, and it was awesome, super awesome.
It's
like,
really good.
Very much like if
And
I
I
was.
think it has aged well.
Parts of it have, some parts haven't.
Okay.
But it's a really great movie in the 70s.
All these funny gangs,
New York.
the weird gangs.
Like, it shouldn't work. Because, like, real quick premise, it's like basically you've got all these gangs after this one gang kind of thing. And the one gang's innocent.
They were falsely accused.
Yeah. And each gang is, like, very recognizable. So, for example, like, you've got this one gang of baseball guys. And they wear face paint and they're mimes. They don't talk. And they have bats. And that's their thing. Then you've got this other gang. And they're like all karate guys, and they wear like the karate outfits.
Yeah, and then you got like the Latino girls, like gangbangers.
Yeah, so I don't think you can say that.
Can you?
There's just lots of gangs and lots of different demographics. So that part, some of it hasn't. It's like, oh, that's kind of a caricature of that group of individuals.
Yes.
But a really fun, real good movie. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Loved it. What's the next movie you want to talk about?
Chariots of Fire.
Okay, yeah, you can talk about this.
So I saw Chariots of Fire right in the early '80s, and it was good. And I enjoyed it. We watched it last night. So I still liked it. Daniela didn't like it. And Isaac, I think, snooze fest.
Yeah, it's just, well, my joke was like, I watched Chariots of Fire. When do they light the chariots on fire? No chariots were set on fire. It's just very boring.
It's set in like England in 1923, prior to the 24 Olympics.
Not a lot going on in England in the 20s, early 20s.
I still think it's worth a watch.
I would recommend a lot of this afternoon. I had some time to watch Color of Money.
That's better.
Watch Color.
Tom
If you're gonna
Cruise, Paul Newman.
Paul Newman, directed by Scorsese, secretly.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
That's on Disney. Everyone should watch Color of Money. That movie's awesome, and has actually aged well. So that's Chariots of Fire.
One more shout out.
Okay.
Isaac gave me this shirt, and it's Philly, and then if you Google unlike Aguilar, how do you spell that? A-G-O...
There's an H there.
A-G-H-O-L-O-R. Unlike Aguilar. And then you'll just send us a message on Instagram because it's great.
Yeah.
Isaac gave me the shirt.
You have to provide a little more context.
You go ahead. You know it better than me.
Buddy, you love it. You're wearing it on your shirt.
Okay. There was a dude who was outside of a house that caught on fire in Philly. And I guess he caught a baby.
Multiple.
Right? Like,
I thought multiple.
I think it was just one. Somebody threw a baby. He caught it. So then he was interviewed. He's the hero. He's like, yeah, I'm just out there helping out. And he's like, and I caught the baby. Unlike Aguilar, I just got to say, who was a wide receiver for Philadelphia at that time. So he was dissing Aguilar for kind of dropping passes, but he didn't drop the baby, which is super important.
Yeah, really good clip, hero. And then this shirt actually is from Nono.
Nice.
It's a Muhammad Ali shirt, vintage.
It's probably 40 years old.
I would for sure take the over. Feels like over. Lots of holes in it, so I can't wear this one out a ton.
Nice.
Got to be selective.
Nice.
But for example, basketball tonight, I can wear my holy Muhammad Ali shirt.
Yep.
Okay, is that
prison ball? That's it.
Okay, what other off the tops do you have?
None.
Okay.
You?
No, I had nothing.
We had to talk about the Sus Bowl. Some people call it the Super Bowl.
I didn't want to start with this, but that's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, listen. Philly destroyed KC. And then the question for you is, why?
That's so stupid.
know,
I'll
that's
let you.
easy.
I'll let you guide the conversation. This is dumb. I'm just going to be
the front
upset.
four beat the snot out of Casey's line, and as good as Mahomes is, he can't throw if there's a guy smashing into his face.
Really good
That's
takes
just
here.
it.
Really innovative stuff.
Yeah. But it's the same thing that happened against Tampa Bay 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, good take. Not 5.
Mahomes is going to lose if his offensive line can't keep 4 because he couldn't throw the hot route because they were covering it. They played cover 2, so there was nothing deep available, and the hot route wasn't available because their cornerbacks were playing close to the line.
That's some good ball takes.
That's
there.
good ball take.
Yeah, the game. I'm glad you looped it into the Tampa game because they really did take that blueprint.
Sure.
That the Tampa defense used with old man Tom. Look, I have very little to talk about this game. I'll say before going in, I was on KC, and I had some money on them. And
I think we need to talk about my Philly analogy, and you bought into it about the Detroit thing.
No, I don't buy into any of your garbage analogies.
No, it's a good analogy.
Your radical political ideologies. Go ahead.
That's a whole separate conversation. We're not talking about that tonight.
Go ahead.
No, I wanted Philly to win. I don't care about KC and Kelce and all that stuff. I really didn't care. I wanted Philly to win because I look for the future of how it affects the Detroit Lions. If Philly lost, they would be angry and hungry and bring all the guys back to try and win a soup. They won. So now they're going to get fat. They're going to eat Popeyes. They're going to be lazy. They're not going to work so hard this weekend or this offseason. And Detroit's going to stomp on them next year.
Yeah, so I don't, again...
That was a little harsh, but I'm still a little fired up about the Lions losing.
Yeah, so I don't care about Philly. So first of all...
none of us care.
The whole Kansas City thing. I don't hate Kansas City. A lot of people hate Kansas City. And I don't find them likable, but I don't find them hateable. Like, I don't think
I think Reed's kind of likable.
I don't even love Andy Reid.
Yeah.
I just liked him in the punt pass kick competition.
When he was 12.
When he was 12. Go look that clip
Go
up.
look that one up. That's a good one.
Ball knowers
Andy
now.
Reid, punt, pass, kick, 12 years old.
We're not talking
Might
about
have been
that
13.
So I don't hate the Chiefs, but I understand, like, some people, okay, it's fine. I don't think of them as I think of, the Duke in the 90s was like a super villain, right?
Did you listen to Simmons?
No, yeah, why?
Okay. He talked a little bit about that.
So let's talk about our podcast, right?
Yeah.
They're just like all-time, like any kind of Yankees era when they were awesome or very hateable. You could say the Dodgers now because of like how they're ruining baseball, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't hate KC like that. I don't love them.
They are not the evil empire.
No, I don't find them detestable.
Yeah, great take by Dallas. They were almost there. What a stupid take.
So again, I was on Kansas City just because of Mahomes. I got talked out of it. You kind of said, I'm not even sure if KC. I'm like, you're right. Let me just take no money on a team and just put some props down.
Hey, did I win my bet?
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Nice.
And if you look at it on paper, like Philly's got a better roster through and through.
A lot more depth.
I was just desensitized by the QB and the coach thing, which is a very simple, advice.
But it's a formula for winning.
If you look at the division winners of the past long time, like more than 9 times out of 10, the best quarterback wins that division.
You say division, or do you mean?
I'm talking division.
Okay,
just division. Like if you look at every division winner, it's like best quarterback, best quarterback, best quarterback. A couple years it's been like clean sweep. So I just leaned Mahomes over Hurts and Reed over Sirianni.
Yeah,
it was 34-0 in the third quarter. Like this game sucked, right? Awful.
it was.
Like it was just all we wanted was a good game. It's easy to say. I just want a good game. That's all we wanted. We didn't get that. I'll let you talk
Super
more.
Bowl, because of 24-hour news cycle and yada yada. If it's a really good Super Bowl, you talk about it for a few days. It was a crap Super Bowl, so by Monday and today, it wasn't really that interesting.
And even come Monday, I was still thinking about the Luka trade and not wanting to. Like when I was reading my articles and listening to my stuff, I was looking for Luka trade stuff.
Yeah, listen, I don't have any more hot takes on it. Like Barkley was okay, but not great. They did a good job bottling him up.
Barkley was not okay. I think Barkley had not that
it's
it was
not
his
up to
fault.
him. It was just that's Casey obviously focused on him.
The only kind of thing I want to talk about, and this is the only way this conversation should have went, is the Mahomes legacy stuff. I think that's the only thing that I enjoy.
It's an interesting take. There's 2 GOATs, Super Bowl GOATs, Montana and Brady. Do you agree with that?
What do you mean Super Bowl GOATs?
Like quarterbacks all time, GOAT players.
What do you mean Super Bowl?
Well, because
Super Bowl era?
Super Bowl era.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, like Paul Hornung, I'm sure was really good, but I don't
Okay.
think you can have him in the GOAT conversation.
Okay, Brady Montana.
Mahomes, he wins. He's now in that group. He's not now because he lost.
First of all, if he wins, he's not in that group. He's on his way.
I think he is.
No, I disagree.
Listen, Brady still won, but I think he's a conversation with Montana about 2.
So not only did they lose, and I'm not saying he didn't have a ton of time to get. He played very poorly. He missed a lot of throws. He looked very frantic.
Yep.
It was tied for his worst performance by expected points added. So like EPA, very common stat, per play. Worst performance.
Yep.
Worst performance as a scrambler. Usually he's a great playoff scrambler. All the advanced stuff say like terrible. It's hard to catch Brady when you have this on your resume. It really, no, I'm not saying it's impossible.
I agree with you.
It makes it so difficult for, like, now he's got a big thing to overcome, and he's probably still got to get at least another back-to-back stretch to come close to Brady. And then the three-peat was going to be the thing that he had over Brady. And he's not going to get a three-peat now.
Yeah,
He's
so
done.
what's their defensive lineman? Chris Jones?
Old man Chris.
How old's he?
Well, we've had this conversation. I jokingly said,
that's right.
I thought he was like 38,
Okay,
and he's
yeah.
actually like 28-9 or something.
No, he's 31. But,
Yeah.
like, they're not going to be as good for so long, right? Like, they're going to lose some guys on defense.
Well, if they lose Kelce, they'll get better, because that guy is a corpse, with all due respect.
There was a couple of clips. The one where he scrambled for a first down, and Kelce was just, like, hanging out, not moving at all, not helping the block. He fumbled. Kelce didn't even try for the fumble.
Yeah,
He's done.
I'm glad you saw that. I don't know if those are making rounds. Kelce, basically, there's some big lack effort stuff, even pre-blowout.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that guy was so checked out. And it's easy for us to say that, yeah.
Maybe he's beat up and sore. Who knows?
I don't know. It's not like he had it's not like he had a big game the game before. It's not like he had a really busy regular season.
Sure.
Wasn't doing a whole lot on the field. All off the field nonsense with that radical. I don't care about that stuff.
I don't care.
I just want to watch football and enjoy it. But I see Travis Kelce, and you move better on Monday Night Basketball than Kelce moves on the court. That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So that's a compliment.
Yeah. Okay, thank
like
you.
Every now and then you cut back door. Kelsey's not cutting back door anymore.
That's a good point. Yeah, but it would be nice if Captain Steve let me play with you.
Okay, so now that's not basketball talk.
Is that part of the NBA trade deadline?
No. Okay, we play basketball together on Mondays. Captain Steve, I'm just going to do it.
Sure.
Captain Steve coordinates it.
He's the man.
He's my guy. Every single night, he puts me on his team, and we play together.
Every single
And
night.
honestly, we're like a great duo. Captain Steve and I, we set each other
He
up.
sent about 75 picks.
It's great. We play really well together. I set him up. He sets me up. It's good. Every single night we're on the same team, and sometimes he is on it, but like no matter, like I'll wear a rainbow shirt. Like let's not say rainbow. Let's say purple. He's gonna switch. He's gonna be a purple shirt.
As you're running white.
Yeah, or he's gonna find my color.
Hey,
and
you're
put
running
that
black.
on.
Okay.
Every single time. That's what the reference there.
Agreed.
Sorry to dive into that, but
No, but it's fun.
so gambling. It's not gambling. It's good.
Yes. Okay.
So somehow, just in general, after that crazy Super Bowl, we were profitable.
Well, and here's the other thing. We were not very interested in the Super Bowl because it didn't hold the Lions. So I don't know if it was the day of. I said, hey, we should play some bets.
Yeah, a couple hours before.
Yeah. So Isaac prepped me a little bit. I talked to BP a little bit, and he gave me some thoughts. Do you have what I bet?
I just know. I remember it.
Okay, so I think it had to do with
I'll say, 'cause
Mahomes
you don't-
yards, anytime touchdown for... No? Okay.
No. So I had some stuff. We have time because we're talking about
Devontae
nothing.
Smith.
We have time because we're talking about nothing.
People gamble a lot. I don't.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you. I told you this, and I think. Can I talk about my group project that I took over?
Yes.
I think that's okay to.
Yeah.
So I had a group project, like a group meeting, at 11 a.m. Super Bowl Sunday. First of all, I was like, you're not going to get me all in on that call, right? Like my mind's not going to be all there. Sunday morning, Super Bowl, like it's not there. So they're yapping. It's a call. And they're just going on and on about this project. And everything's settled. Like it's not like it's unnecessary. And I'm like, you know what? Now's a good time to start researching. So I'm looking at data trends.
This little play card.
I'm looking at all sorts of stuff. Super Bowl betting. I'm looking at everything. Looking at like Kendrick Lamar, first song.
Do you have
props.
that little betting sheet? That was awesome.
I'll try to find it.
Yeah.
It's really, I was proud of it. So the whole time they're yapping. I'm just cooking up. Oh, I like that prop. Betting this number down. Betting him down. Oh, Noah Gray's going to get involved. All this stuff. And then at the end of the call, one of the guys who I don't really know but kind of know, I'm not going to use names. It's like, hey, like Isaac, like you got any plays for tonight? Like, what are your best bets? I'm like, oh, funny you ask. So I'm like, all right, guys, here's what we're gonna do. We're done with the call. We're done doing school. I'm gonna send you a picture of what I've been working on, and everyone can just say their favorite bets.
Did they know that you were working
No.
on it? Oh, okay.
Because I was still participating. Like, yeah, that sounds good, guys. Mute,
Okay.
right? Like I was doing that. So then I send my sheet, and they're all like, oh, this is great stuff. And I'm like, all right, everyone, send your best bet. One of the four of them maybe watched Super Bowl. No one else knows any kind of ball, with all due respect. And they end up saying like, oh,
Isaac says with all due respect when he means no respect.
no, like with all due respect, like they're not watching the game. They don't know ball.
Okay.
So one of them saying like Kelce to propose after the Super Bowl was their best bet. That was their lock.
That's awesome.
They actually said regardless of the outcome. And then I'm like, Devontae Smith, 50 yards. It's happening. Like, that was my play. So, anyways, the group project very quickly just turned into, like, the group chat was all just like, that's a great read, Isaac. That's a good bet. And, like, we're all just lifting each other up. Anyways, I get him on it. I give him some legs. He likes Saquon unders. Because I told myself I'm not betting Saquon unders. That's just not fun to root for.
I did.
Agent of Chaos. Bet Saquon under, Mahomes 200 yards, Smith 50 yards. And
there was a fourth.
Yeah, there was a fourth. And I was going to write it down, but like, oh, no, I know it.
Doesn't matter.
It's Hurts 25 rushing yards.
Oh, got it.
So it was like 4-1. Because it was all, the Saquon under was like about even money, and everything else kind of helped. And Smith was about even money. And it hit. So that, very profitable. I'm going to send you the money. It was like 4-1 you hit.
No, but you know what? I don't know if I paid you for the Pistons ticket from the previous Friday.
Oh, yeah, you didn't. But
there you go.
That's how it worked out.
Call it even.
So we were profitable. I just wrote down sharp 4-leg parlay cooked up by OG. Thoughts on gambling, good pros and cons.
So I don't gamble much, obviously. I think it's a thing that is okay if you do it occasionally and don't bet too much. I don't think you should get into a habit where you're betting every day or every event. No. I know you guys do it a lot.
No, but we do very small.
$5, $10.
Small units.
Yeah.
And we don't unit shame here either. If a unit's $1, good for you. If it's 50, good for you.
Nah, that's too much.
I'm not a high roller. I'm a low unit guy.
Yep.
But it's all sharp reads. Any more on gambling or the Super Bowl?
No.
Kendrick Lamar halftime? Thoughts?
Oh, I wanted to ask you about your opinion.
No, I want your opinion.
So, I liked it.
Yes.
It was entertaining. I didn't know enough of the political nuances to be able to get that it was a big cut at Drake. I didn't see the dude with the flag, thankfully.
Easy.
But I thought it was entertaining. And if you didn't like it, you either don't like hip-hop or you just have bad taste.
Yeah. You just got this group of people that like they're just looking to crap on stuff.
Sure, right? Like the old country and western hicks. Of course they're not going to like that.
No, I just kind of mean where it's like everyone's like Kendrick and they're like, oh, let's just make fun of Kendrick. Like, okay, cool.
Why if you know music, why are you making fun of Kendrick? Because he's good.
No, all ball knowers don't make fun of Kendrick.
Okay.
I like Kendrick. I liked his music. I liked the performance. I played Madden during it. It was fine. Good job, Kendrick. Good job, Super
Kendrick.
Bowl. If anything else on Super,
He's like 5'2".
I don't think he's actually, but he's short.
He's little.
Yeah, he's all right, though. It's all good.
Okay.
Anything else Super Bowl?
Nope.
Okay, I think the big takeaway here is, Mahomes didn't win another. You won a very sharp 4-1 parlay you cooked up.
Yep, pretty much. OG wins.
And
Team Town Nation.
And Tom Brady's still the GOAT. Those are kind of your three big takeaways.
Agreed.
Okay, it's good stuff.
Okay, and the Lions are kicking butt next year.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to talk about the NBA trade deadline now? I think we should.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So, 10 days later, Luka. Oh my gosh, what an enormous trade. So big.
Yeah.
Like, all the rumors now that Luka's fat, he's lazy, he's got a weak Achilles. Rob Pelinka met with Nico in like first week of January at a Starbucks in Dallas. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if
There's
that
a
was
picture
rumor.
of them meeting.
Okay. AI, it's hard to believe stuff these days.
Yeah.
So,
actually, I'm going to say, you know where I'm going with this?
No.
Every now and then, I'm not going to say the quotes. Every now and then, these funny guys on Instagram get a picture of a player and they put a fake quote and make it look like he said this.
Yeah.
Or it'll be like AI of them.
Every now and then he'll send me those. It's pretty funny.
So I send them to both of them, and they're like very clearly fake. Yes. Where it's like, oh, I don't think Luka would say that, or whatever it is. And
I clarified it though. Don't worry.
And every single time I send it, he goes like, "Not real," or it's
fake news.
Fake news. Where it's just like, yeah, I know. It's just funny.
It's a parody account. I get that.
But every time he likes
also,
to identify.
Daniela's on there, and she might not understand that it's parody.
Yeah, you can send a lot of stuff to Ma, and she's just gonna have no idea. She's gonna think it's all real. Good for her.
And she just makes up words to try and participate in the conversation.
Okay, so Luka trade. Keep
Luka trade. So obviously Karma has already come into play because AD's injured, and now Gafford's injured too.
Yeah.
So they have 4 big guys and they're all injured.
Yeah, I don't think
nice trade. They're not going to make the playoffs.
You don't think so? I would have to look at the
Dallas is
numbers.
not going to make playoffs.
But we'll talk about this with Golden State, who's now skyrocketing to make the playoffs now.
For sure.
I want to talk more about the Luka trade. Where would you like to go with it?
So, value is one thing, and we'll spend a little bit of time talking about value, but process is the thing that is shocking to me, to you. Obviously, we talked a little bit about this. So, he got terrible value. He should have got 3 more first-round picks and 2 pick swaps if he put it to open market.
And even if you show me that offer, I say that's not enough. Seriously.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But, especially because you've got Luka on your team. Unless, listen, if you're playing to win the 2035 NBA championship and your pick swaps are in 2031, 32, 33, whatever, okay. But you've got Luka on your team for 7 years. You know you're going to be really good.
Easily 7 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Easily 7 years.
So there's so much I want, because we talked about it for 10 minutes. But, like, we could do a whole episode on it. So
we could.
Like, well, let's take some time with this. The way I like to break this down is the why and the how. This is what I told you. The why and the how, right? So
Pelinka got in Nico's head.
So you got to overcome the why. You just got to accept it. And
difficult to accept, but yes, I agree with you. You have to accept it. Just
explain the why. You briefly did, but explain the why. Why did Nico decide to trade Luka?
So I think Nico at some point in his life, in some area of his life, it's probably a smart, intelligent person, but he got into a position where he was able to make an unbelievably silly decision. And smart people do stupid things.
Yeah, it's a good take.
Pelinka got in Nico's head and said, listen, you can't tell anybody, you got to keep the secret, you can't get the rumors come out. And I think he was telling it because, there'll be some bad pub and some bad vibes. So Nico bought into that hype, thinking, you're right, I need to keep this quiet. Whereas Pelinka was just playing him like a fool. Because if Nico put Luka's name on the open market, even if it's whispers, you hear whispers all the time about guys. Mm-hmm. Right? And sure, it rubs them the wrong way. KD's a little bit angry because he was in some rumors. Oh, well. You whisper to a couple of teams that Luka's out there, you're going to get some real interest back. Instead, no. But then somehow Pelinka was able to pull things off of the initial trade. That I don't understand.
So the why, you just got to say, like, okay, that's where I was going with this, where it's like, okay, he convinced himself that Luka wasn't the guy.
Yep, he was negotiating against himself.
I'm talking about the why.
Yeah,
that's not the why. The why is, why did you trade Luka? And he just convinced himself he's
fat, lazy, Achilles.
I still
whatever. It's all stupid.
You just got to say, okay, that's your deal, whatever. It's simple economics regarding the how. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand this, right? So the how is, how did you go about trading him? Like, what was the process? If I've got something that everybody wants, and I want to give that up for whatever reason, the smartest thing to do is to hear what everyone will give me, and then I will give it to the highest bidder. And the more people say, I'll give this, guess what will happen? The price will go up, right? The equilibrium price will rise.
Yeah, it's like putting your house for sale and only telling one crappy real estate agent. Yeah, and that guy will buy it from you himself and then flip it for $100,000 more than he just bought it from you.
So you just handled it so poorly. The how was so poorly done, and then now he's tried to leak stuff. Like, he tried to leak that he offered for Minnesota's Ant and Milwaukee's Giannis, and I don't buy either of those. I think he only went because the initial stuff was only, and now Nico's trying to like leak all sorts of stuff to try to get some leeway, get back here. You can't. It's so cooked. It doesn't make any sense. Do you have any more on the how? Because then we'll talk about the post-trade stuff.
No.
All the pre-trade stuff I don't get. And then,
no logic to it.
Like the how. Why would you do, right? Like, if you want to trade Luka, fine. You take 9 first-round picks from the Jazz.
Sure. Also, 4 days before the trade deadline. Yeah.
Also, why are you doing it right now? Right? Like, why didn't you do it in the summer? Why didn't you do it? Yeah. Just hold the bidding war.
Because you didn't want to pay him $350 million? Fine. Then sign him and trade him.
Well, exactly, and that's the thing where it's like, okay, you're gonna pay him $350.
Like the Clippers did with Blake Griffin.
He's gonna sign for $550 in 5 years.
Yeah,
like it's just the way things go. Inflation. So the backlash. I came up with it. I put this down during classes. Very happy with it. Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law. Interstellar talks about it a lot. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. That's basically post-trade stuff.
Yes.
So what I mean by that is I'm going to break things down and you start telling me when you want to dive into one. Okay. We talked about the AD injury. Maybe season ending, right?
Really? I heard 4 weeks.
Yeah, but with AD, you know how it is. Like,
well, and here's the other thing. It's 4 weeks. They're going to be
they slide
in
a bit.
12th place. And they're going to be like, why are we dragging this guy to maybe try and get a 10 seed?
Yeah.
To make it up to the 8 seed to get smashed by OKC.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Great take. So kind of the initial Murphy's Law stuff. So everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Here are some of the things. And I think they're all worth talking about. You stop me.
Okay,
go ahead. No,
you go.
Okay. It started with the fans protesting.
Yes. And now they're kicking him out.
We're going to get there. Started with fans protesting, and there was like some sort of like funeral rituals like going on outside the stadium, like involving coffins and like candles. I love it, because that'd be us.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah. So that's how
if
it started.
If you trade Cade, you don't think we'll have a whole service for him? Huge
service. Like, we'd wear suits, and it would be a
the
very
whole deal.
big thing.
Oh, we'd do proper eulogies, the whole thing.
And I don't know if the funerals were for, because I went on Mavs Reddit. I went on Mavericks Reddit.
No, I think the funerals were for Luka. It's not for Nico.
Well, no, a lot were for Luka. I think some were just for the organization.
Ooh.
Like, they're burying the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, I get that.
But there's also the Luka stuff. So they have all these funerals, which I love. Good for you, fellas. That's what we do. Then you've got the refunds to season ticket holders. I don't know how that gets leaked. I don't know how you don't keep this quiet. They leak, or for whatever reason it gets out that the season ticket holders that are saying like, I'm done with this, gave them their money back. That got leaked. Okay. Then the Nico Harrison side of things. You've got, a lot of death threats, maximum security at his home, and again, that stuff I wouldn't want leaked if I'm Nico Harrison. I would really want to keep this hush-hush, right? Like, maybe don't have a headline out that says you're not in your normal seat because you don't want to deal with backlash. Maybe don't have that out.
Yeah.
Then you've got the ejections at the home games, and I don't know how much you know about this, but go ahead.
I don't know much. Like, I know a couple guys put up Fire Nico, and they just got kicked out right away. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that I know.
Well, one of them had the camera on him, and he mouthed into the camera, Fire Nico. And he got ejected for that. And not very nicely. So then you've got all this stuff where it's just like, they're not handling it well from because if you're an organization, you kind of got to like let them have their say now.
Listen, you're still
free speech.
You're still worth $5 billion. Hire a spin doctor, a communications expert to help you through this mess.
Internally, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, internally, for sure. Who are the two?
Hire us.
For real.
Yeah.
Actually. So then you've got Luka. Luka's pretty upset.
Talk about tackling fuel.
Well, there's that too.
Oh my gosh. This is probably the best thing for Luka's career because now he's going to be slighted and he's angry. And of course he's upset. They took $100 million out of his pocket.
I think he's very...
$100 million.
Yeah, I think he's very sad. I really do.
Yep.
I think Dallas was his home. And a kid who came from overseas...
Dude, he's from Slovenia.
Like, this was his spot. His family and his friends, like, this was their thing. In the picture, you see him the next morning, looked like he was up crying all night. Like, He just looked like it hit him. And I don't blame him. And I'm not saying he's mad to go to the Lakers or sad. I'm not saying that.
No, just the shock of it.
The shock out of nowhere.
Moving him, his family. Does he have a family? I don't even know.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So, who are the two most important people in Dallas Mavericks history? This is not a trick question.
Dirk and Luka.
Look bigger than that.
Mark Cuban?
Yeah. So I would say Cubes and Dirk.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah, you can debate Luka.
Not anymore.
Cubes. Not anymore.
Okay. The two most important people in Mavericks history are pissed off.
Yes.
Cuban is mad, and Dirk is mad.
Yeah, Dirk's pissed, and Dirk doesn't get pissed.
So, yeah, Dirk, who's the man, watched the first game in L.A. next to Luka's parents.
I don't know if you heard about this, but Dirk went through a little stretch, like 07, 08, 09, where like a first-round loss, and then not great. He was dinged up a little bit, and there was people asking Cuban to trade him, and Cuban's like, no, we're not trading Dirk. We're never trading Dirk. Like, even some real rumors for some good players, like, no, we're not trading Dirk.
This was after their championship, right?
No, this is before their championship.
Oh, before, and they won an 11.
And then they won a championship. It's like, there, see?
Yes. And even the stories, you should read some stories surrounding that 11 Mavs team. There's a lot of fun there.
The sick, cold stories, that's a good
is
one.
Cool.
That's
like,
pretty good.
How the Mavericks just wanted it. It's really cool.
Hungry.
And Jason Kidd. So Jason Kidd is like refusing to do post-game interviews, which like doesn't happen for head coaches.
Gosh, that's crazy.
And he watched the press conference with him and
I
Nico.
haven't been able to see much of this stuff, so
all my sports time has been this.
I'll have more time on the weekend to dig through this stuff, but super interesting.
Do you have anything else on Luka?
No.
Yeah, I'm glad he's free.
Yeah.
I'll just pose you with this. We talked about it briefly. If we were Dallas Mavericks fans and we lived in Dallas and Luka was our guy and they traded Luka, what would we do? Would we become Lakers fans? Would we? Because that's what we talked about briefly.
Yeah. Would we become Lakers fans? Certainly as soon as LeBron retires, because there's still an element where like, oh man, LaFraud. But I would say no, not right away. I think we probably become football fans only for a year.
Cowboys.
When LeBron retires.
Yeah.
No, not Cowboys.
In that alternate
Lions.
reality, we're Cowboys fans if we're in
that's
Dallas.
terrible.
Which is
it's awful reality.
tough stretch. Yeah.
And guns and stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, don't say that.
What do you...
I think we become Lakers fans after a year. We take a year hiatus, and then we become Lakers fans because of Luka.
Okay, I buy that. Other trades, what are we talking about? I've got a few.
I just want to hear your take on Jimmy and Golden State, right? You love Jimmy.
Love Jimmy, love Golden State, love the fit.
Declan really likes Jimmy too, eh?
Yeah, shout out Deck.
Yeah.
Look, the Warriors, they bought low. It's good business. Fit was excellent from day one.
Smart.
You had some naysayers online saying, him and Draymond won't get along. And I'm like, first of all,
Jimmy likes dogs, and Draymond's a dog.
That's the thing. It's like, no. These are the guys that are going to, like...
Bond.
Like Jay Crowder and Jimmy, kind of in a way like that. So you had all these people saying, like, they're not going to get along. It's like, no, Jimmy doesn't get along with soft guys like Towns and Levine and Wiggins, right?
Yeah, that Ben Simmons guy.
Ben Simmons called that one
Who's
out.
going to Clips.
Whereas like, no, 2016 Olympics, Jimmy and Draymond, they're boys. And they All-Star Weekend, like, they've messed around. Like, there's stuff on them camera. They're buddies. And then Jimmy and Steph, there's this huge mutual respect, like, cross-conference thing.
Yeah, for sure.
The
Where
Warriors...
does Golden State end up from a seeding perspective?
I'm glad you talked about that.
6, maybe 5?
So you think for sure playoffs?
Absolutely.
Okay, so when it happened, it was like, they were almost 2-1. Like, plus 200 to make playoffs.
Okay.
And then it got down, and I watched 2 games. I was gonna bet on them to make the playoffs before I saw anything, because I'm like, that number's not right. Then I watched 2 games, and I'm like, oh, these guys are going to the playoffs. And then I got it at like 1.5 to 1, like plus 150.
Okay, what's it now?
Minus odds now. So
Yeah.
they are favored to make the playoffs.
For sure.
So probably projected to be like a 7 seed.
I mean, those teams are really tight in the West, so...
So I think they're a playoff team. Warriors Twitter, like, you've got all these... I have to be careful what I say, but you've got all these people that are very, crapping on Jimmy, where it's like, if you really followed either the history that
Warriors fans are crap?
No, just like casuals,
Oh,
like general
okay.
people.
Yeah.
Which is like the people that are like the Kendrick halftime show is bad. It's like Kendrick sucks and Jimmy
okay.
sucks. It's like, all right, man.
And the Philly fans that are upset because Jimmy was disrespectful to Philly. No, he was disrespectful to a couple of those punk, lazy dudes.
If you look at Pat Riley's track record with stars in Miami, it speaks for itself. And then you want to say, well,
He uses them for a while and says, get out of here.
And you say, well, Jimmy's track record, it's like, no, he left a couple poverty franchises a couple times in not very nice fashion. Whereas Pat Riley's just like, name the superstar, Pat Riley's probably pissed him off.
Yep.
Right? Like Wade, LeBron, Shaq, even lower tier guys, like Son Whiteside ended poorly, but all these guys where it always ends badly with
That's
Pat.
a good take.
Alonzo Mourning's the only one that didn't go badly with.
Yeah, we do need to talk about the Pistons. Listen, they didn't really do much at the trade deadline, but they're awesome.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so fun to watch. Beasley, currently the best three-point shooter in a single season in Pistons history. That's kind of a thing, especially since you still got like 33 games left or whatever. Thompson's starting to make more of an impact. And Cade's the man. And I don't know why it took so long for North America to realize that Cade's the man, but now they're starting to get it. Like, whoa, he's good. And he can defend. He can board. Lots of good dimes. He's the man.
We were on,
We've been
last
on
year,
obviously the Cade bandwagon.
when he was in the like Derek White talks in terms of like best player in the, like he was like, he's on top 60, top 70. That's where he was on these lists.
I'm going to be really interested to see what he is, now or a month from now.
He's top 20.
I think so.
Yeah, it's top 20.
Yeah.
And you've got like the people that were saying Scotty Barnes and Evan Mobley and Jalen Green are better.
Listen, I like Scotty,
more than me.
but he's number 2. Cade's 1. Mobley's 3.
I'd take Franz Wagner over Scotty Barnes.
Ooh, Franz Wagner's pretty good
Yeah,
too.
so give me that.
Still picking Cade.
What else?
Just tell me about the Williams trade, the failed trade. Mm-hmm.
So
what's your take on that?
So initially, I'm like, oh, this is great. I like Mark Williams. He's like, free him from Charlotte. He'll be great. Lob threats. Fit's going to be great. And then it doesn't go through. So we talked about this briefly. But the Hornets look shady because they dealt this guy who had a physical that wasn't going to pass. So it's like, why would you ever want to do business with the Hornets GM?
Yeah, it's weird.
Who's just doing the shady thing. And then the Lakers. Now the Lakers are bringing back this like distraught Dalton Knecht, who like moved out and was like ready to go and live in Charlotte and be on that team. Who was in the Charlotte building, like had shoot-arounds with these guys.
Oof, that's tough.
I don't know.
The NBA's business, and they get well compensated. But that's tough to say. Okay, boom, move to Charlotte.
And then say, oh, no, come back. We actually still like you. Imagine that. Like, imagine if your boss was like, hey, you're okay, but we're getting someone better than you.
We're trading you to Sault Ste. Marie Bridge.
Well, okay, sure. No hate there.
No hate there. It's fine.
Did you watch any of Luka's debut?
No.
Okay, so it was awesome. They gave away Luka shirts, and everyone's so happy.
That's awesome.
Dalton Knecht was the only guy in the building that was not having a good time. They showed him on the bench a few times.
Did he play?
Nope. He's. You didn't read this? He's not in the rotation anymore. He told JJ Redick, I still need some time. So.
Okay, I give him a bit of credit for that.
And then if you look at Dalton Knecht on the bench, like everyone's going nuts because they're throwing lobs, and Dalton's just like distraught. So that sucks. What else do you have? Trade stuff.
I do know that now Luka has scored more than Bronny.
Yeah.
For the Lakers.
Okay, good one, man.
Is Cleveland now better than Boston by picking up Hunter?
No, and I like Hunter and I like Cleveland, but Boston's just a juggernaut.
Okay, did OKC miss an opportunity to get better?
Yeah, but every deadline they are going to miss an opportunity.
Why don't they? They have so many picks. Why don't they trade some?
That's not Presti's way. I assume he will at some point.
At some point, you got to trade him. Like you just don't have enough roster spots. Unless they're doing an A team and a B team.
But yeah, now
which they can probably do next year.
Yeah, at this point, it's like I don't know. Maybe just see what the fit would have been like with Fox or whoever it is. Just like get another guy.
Raptors. What the
For
hell?
who? Yeah, I don't want to just go talk about your Raptors. You
I don't get it. Like, what are they doing? They're trying to tank, but we're going to pick up BI, sign him for 3 years, 120. So I assume they're hoping that they get Cooper Flag, and then Scotty's their second, and then BI's their third. But you're still overpaying Barrett. You're still overpaying. Who's the other guy? Quigley, IQ.
What's his name?
Quigley, IQ.
There's no G in there though.
Quickly.
Yeah. There you go.
Anyway, I don't know what you're doing, Toronto. Sorry.
Disaster. I was talking to Tom about it, and Tom was like, "Oh, like they're gonna be good, and like Brandon Ingram's good contract,
good for the next couple months."
Well, he's hurt too, right? So Tom was trying to sell me on. It's like, and if we get Cooper Flag, it's like, okay, if you're basing all this on getting one
guy,
and
we may still get Wemby.
If you're basing all this off one guy, that's just bad management, bad roster building.
Yeah.
So good way to go, Masai. All you sympathizers love Masai.
Yeah,
like you.
I did. Now I don't so much.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, that's it for NBA strap trade deadline. A couple off-season things. I just want your opinion. Is Rodgers done playing in the NFL?
Don't care. Next question.
Okay. Deebo Samuel, what's the deal there?
Also don't care. Next question. Talk about someone who I don't hate.
Do the Lions go after Myles Garrett?
No.
Why not?
Because that's not Brad Holmes' way. Come on. I've talked enough about this with boys. They're not going to do it. That's not the Lions' way. It's on Holmes' way.
Did you see Pittsburgh's Deshaun Elliott? Because there was some discussion about if Rodgers going to Pittsburgh. And this guy says, what's that? That's the safety. He said, leave his ass in the retirement home.
Really?
Put that online. Yeah, it's a great take.
Good for him.
Love that.
Deshaun Elliott, fan of the program.
Top 3 most annoying people in the United States of America. Kelly Stafford.
Oh, holy, stay away. We're not having this talk.
We're not?
Let me just see if you have the name written down. Oh, you don't, shockingly. No, we're not talking about the most annoying people in America. Not happening. Sorry. Next question. That's
not a good quarterback draft class. So it's going to be interesting to see how these sus quarterbacks fill holes somewhere. Right? Like Rodgers, Cousins, Russell Wilson. They're all so mid.
Yes.
They are so mid. Facts.
Do they have aura?
No, they had aura 10 years ago. They don't anymore. They're old like me.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
What else do you have?
I got nothing else.
Okay.
It's the time of the year where we want fans to provide us some ideas for what you'd like us to talk about. I hear you, Coach Rob. Send us some stuff.
Okay, agree?
Yeah, agreed. Okay, peace out, everybody.